Swagatam. Just Mangalacharanam. This is second half, June 11th. June 11th. Stiravasarha. Dvitiyo Bhagaha. This is the Ramayanam Sundarakandam. And Dinankaha Ekadasha. 11th of June. Second half of the class. 4:30 to 6. A little bit late. Sorry about that. Just Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate. Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramena Vihata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Ramanasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmiyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhutame Bhurama Muddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahastanama Tattalyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Om Namati. Okay, let's continue with the Ramayanam. We looked at this very briefly last time, the Tritiya Sargasya Sankshipta Varnanam, which is like this. Nishi Lankam Pravishantam Hanumantam Lanka Bhimanini Maharakshasi Pratyakshi Bhuya Panitalena Vihatya Pratyashedhat Atho Hanumata Nariti Vama Mushtina Mandam Taritapi Vivvala Kapina Kapina Tvai Paraditayam Lanka Vinasha Samayaha Samprapta Iti Viddhiti Brahmano Vacho Nivedayanti Puraspravesham Manvajanat. One more time. Again, this is not a part of the Ramayanam. It's Sankshipta Varnam of the Sargaha, which I found in one of the commentaries, and Gita Press has a translation of it for the most part. So these two are taken from different books. So this is not in the same book as the translation. So there will be little small gaps here and there, but this is mostly following this Sankshipta Varnam. So one more time we'll read it. Nishi Lankayam Pavishantam Hanumantam Lanka Vimanini Maharakshasi Pratyakshi Bhuya Panitalena Vihatya Pratyashedhat Atho Hanumata Nariti Vama Mushtina Mandantaditapi Vivvala Kapina Tvai Paraditayam Lanka Vinasha Samayaha Samprapta Iti Viddhiti Brahmano Vacho Nivedayanti Puraspraveshamanvajanat. Is it Padachya Ravi? Padachya Paras Ravi?
Yes, Satish.
Okay.
Nishi Lankam Pravishantam Hanumantam Lankabhimanini Maharakshasi Pratyakshi Bhuya. This is a samas, the Gati Samasaha. We see a little bit. Okay, Pratyakshi Bhuya, correct. Okay. Panitalena Abhihatya Pratyashedhat. So this technically is Prati Ashedhat. Because Tingantam na samasyate. Tingantam will not form compounds. So Prati Ashedhat. Okay. Then Atho Avyayam. Yeah, because Avyayam is Atha, also becomes Atho. So because it will be either Akaranta Atha, or be this. This almost looks like a combination of Atha U becomes Atho. Yeah, but this is an Avyayam in its own right. Atho is an Avyayam. Okay, Atho. Go ahead. Hanumata. Nari. Correct. Iti. Very good. Nari iti. Correct. Vama Mushtina. It's on the compound. Mandam. Kadita. Api. Vihvala. Correct. Kapina. Tvai. Parajitayam. Lanka Vinasha Samayaha. Sampraptaha. Iti. Viddhi. Iti. Very good. Brahmanaha Vachaha Vedayanti Puraha Pravesham Anvajanat. Correct. So that's very good. Let me just check that last part, Purah Pravesham. So what okay, let's do the vibhakti step by step. Let's start from Nishi. Nishi, is it Saptami Ekavachanam? Saptami Ekavachanam. What is the Prajapatikam is Nish here. Nish Prajapatikam. So now, remember, is this Adesha for Nisha? I think this Pradipika itself is Nish. I think. Let's look at Apte over here. Apte Pradipika. I mean Nisha also is Pradipikam. This and Nish also is Pradipikam. This Pradipika Nish, Pradipikam Nisha. Here the Pradipikam Nish has been used. Nish means night. Nitcharaha. I think we have Nitcharim before. We had in the prior class Nitcharim. Roams around. So this Pradipikam Nish has been used. Talavi Shakara and the Pradipikam Nish. Nish. Become Nishi. Okay, Nish. Okay, let's see what Nish. Okay, Nish. Let's see. You know what, Ravi, this sutram here we can look at. This one takes the, remember sutram Paddan Nomas, Ravi?
Paddan Nomas.
Yeah, so that I think we can use here. If you can, what is 6160 something? 6163. Paddan Nomas Ran Nisha, here it is. Nisha Sanyusan. So this 6163 is saying that in this is the Nish is Adesha for Nisha, is what Apte is saying, right? So Apte is saying over here that is optionally substituted for Nisha, Shas Prabhriti, after Shas, etc. There's no inflection in the first 5 inflections. So this is the Sutram 6163. This Nisha Prajapatикam takes Nish as Sarvadesha. When Shas Prabhriti, Dvitiya Bahuvachanam onwards, this Nisha will take Nish as the Adesha optionally. So if you look at 6163, we put here 6163, Paddan Nomas, Nisha takes Nish Adesha. So Paddan Nomas, 6163, I'm sorry, 6163. 6163. So these are all these, again, just like we saw in the earlier class today, we got Pa, Gra, Dhamma. You'll hear also these Pada, Danta, Nasika, Masrada, Nisha. This Nisha, this is Yatha Sankham. All these take, Udakasa, Ete Sham Shabdanam, Sthane, Shas Prabhriti Pratyayeshu Parataha. When you have Pratyaya which is following, which is Dvitiya Bhavachanam onwards, Paddatasmasrad Nish Asan. So Nish is the Adesha for Nisha. When Pratyaya Shas, which is Dvitiya Bhavachanam onwards, follows, we can, the document, so Padras Udghatanam we can do over here. So we can take Nisha plus Ni. Nisha plus Ni, of course, by Halni, I mean the so just, and then after that we make it Nish plus Ni. So it can be Nishayam, it can also be Nishi, Nish plus Ni. I mean, just Anubandha Lope E. So we have used 6163, and also used, of course, the Lashapatadite, which becomes Nishi. The Sutram says, okay, Letha Sankyam Bhavati, I think this is an optional rule, I think. Okay, Punar Avisheshanam Bhasha. I mean, this was some controversies to it. Some says only Bhashayam, only Vede. It says that Kechid Atra Chandasi Itya Anuvartayanti. Apare Punar Avisheshana Ichanti. Some say only Chandasi. Tathacha Bhashayam api. Even Bhashayam. Padadayaha Shabda Parujjante. And so on. But if you look at the, yes, check what always good to check the vritti. What does the vritti of sutram say? Before applying the sutram, we can check the vritti and see, what. Of course, this is Kashika vritti. We can also check the Danta Kaumudi. Kaumudi number is 228. We do the Kaumudi vritti, so we can check whether it's an optional rule, with only Chandasi or not. So in the Siddhanta Kaumudi number 228, it says, let me look at the 228. Okay, Paddan Novas. Pada, Danta, Nasika, Masa, Hridaya, Nisha. Asrij, Yush, Dosh, Yakrit, Shakrit, Udaka, Asya. Esham, Padadeha, Adesha, Syush, Shasado, Va. Okay, that's straightforward. It's optional. You can get Nishayam, get Nishi. Okay. What's the next one here, Ravi? Let's continue. Okay, go ahead. Next one, Lankam.
Lankam is Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachanam.
Straightforward Patvi Lanka. Okay, Amipurvaha. Pravishantam.
Pravishantam is like Pachantam.
Very good. So
Dvitiya Ekavachanam.
Dvitiya Ekavachanam. Interesting. We have Dvitiya Ekavachanam in Lanka. Also Dvitiya Ekavachanam in Pravishantam. Pravishantam is dhatu wish, which is to enter. It is in Tudadi Ganaha, right? Because see this, how do you Tudadi Ganaha we know, Ravi?
Because there is Akara, Tudadi Bhyashaha.
What else? Why not Shab then?
Shab because there is no Guna.
Very good. So because Puganta Laghupadasya Guna has been started. Just today we learned this sutram, right? Because here what we have is that Pravishantam, of course this is what's called the Vartaman Krudanta Pratyaha, Vartamane Lat, Latashatrishana Chava Pratama Samadhikarane, present participle. So 3 to 124, we're going to skip some steps. We get the Pratyaya Shatra, because of Laf Prasnapadam Tangana Vatmanapadam, this is the Prasnapadi Dhatu. In the Shatra Pratyaya, who is the Pratyaya Shat, which is Kartaryarthe. So we get Tudadi Bhyashaha. So Kartari Shap has Apavadaha below that, which is Tudadi Ganaha Dhatu. And so below 3168, we get the Tudadi Bhyashaha. Pratyaya Sha comes in here. We can put in document like that. So what happens is that we now got, skipping some steps, we got Vish plus the Pratyaya Sha, which is of course Anubandha Lope Akaraha by the Shakvatadite. Then we got the Pratyaya Shatru Pratyaha. Okay, now what's happening here is that the Shatru is also, the Sha Pratyaha is Sarvadhatukam Apit. We just saw in the earlier class today. So that's how we can decipher the fact that the Ikara of which did not take Guna Adeshaha, because means that something was stopping Puganta Laghupatasya Cha. Of course, it's Kiniti Cha. We just saw that the Pratyaya following here, the Sha is the, see basically what is that all dhatus by default, they go into the Bhwadi Ganaha, kind of. And then if they don't fit there, then they're moved out to other ganas. So this dhatu did not fit in the Bhwadi Ganaha, because because the desired form of the language, Ishtam Rupam is Vishati, not Veshati. So because of that, Shab cannot be used, because that will do the Puganta Laghupatasya Gunaha. So therefore it has been put in the, therefore we know that this dhatu must not be in the Bhwadi Ganaha. It must be another Gana which does not do the Guna Adesha, means this is Pratyaya is Sarvadhatukam Apit Nitvat Kiniti Cha. But the Gana Vikarana is some kind of an Akaraha, as Ravi said, because Vishati. It must be an Akaraha which is not capable of doing a Guna Adesha. And that is this Tudadi Gana. So again we skip the numbers. So we have 3 to 123, 124, and this Tudadi Bhyashaha is Tudadi Bhyashaha. Kartari Shap is 3177. And then what happens is that we get the form Vishat. So here the Guna Adeshaha Vastam Atu Guna is coming over here. So Sarvadhatukam Apit Kiniti Cha Guna Nishedha. In the meanwhile over here we also get Ato Guna. Just putting some steps in. Vishat decline like Pachatsu Vishantam. Who is this qualifying, Ravi? Who is Vishantam qualifying? It's qualifying. Anumantam. So Lankam is the karma of which dhatu now? Of the dhatu wish. Oh. So that's the thing. See, what's happening here is that Pratyaya Dhat is the Tingantam Padam. The karma of the, of course, in that we have one, the Lyap Pratyaya in between here. So Abhihatya Pratyaya Sheda, that's a clause now. So we have Abhihatya as a Lyap Bantam,
pratyakshi bhu, another lyabbantam we have, right? So having done this, then she blocked. She blocked Hanuman. So this Hanumantam is the karma of the Siddhatu. And that Hanumantam has a Visheshanam of Pravishantam. And that Pravishantam has Dhatu Vish, which is used Kartari Arthe. And that Dhatu Vish is taking the karma of Lankam. So this Lankam is the karma of Dhatu Vish, while Hanumantam is the karma of the Dhatu Pratyashedat, Dhatu Siddh, and which Pravishantam is qualifying Hanumantam. Because even though this is Dvitiya Ekvachanam, these two are Samadhikaranam. Pravishantam, Hanumantam is Samadhikaranam. Well, this clearly is not. It is Stilinga Shabda. This is the object of Pravishantam. So to take the karma, this Dhatu has to be used in Pratyaya, which Kartari Arthe. Because we had the Vartamane Lat, then Latashyatrishanacha Vartama Samadhikarane, Kartari Krit. So this is used Kartari Arthe, Pratyaya Shatru is Kartari Arthe over here, and so is the Pratyaya, of course the Pratyaya Tip is used Kartari Arthe, we'll see. Okay, so Lankam is the object of Dhatu Vish Pravishantam. Hanumantam, I think Hanumat Prajapadikam we've seen many times. Wherever in both these cases, Numma Agamaha, Ugidacham Savanamasthanaya Dhatoho, because Shatru is in Ugit, so is the Matup and Ugit. So again, we won't spend time in this class. We've done many examples you have. So they're both in Numma Agamaha and Pravishantam Hanumantam. Okay, Lanka Vimanini. This Pratama Ekvachanam, right, Ravi? Pratama Ekvachanam?
Yes, Satish. It's adjective to Maharakshasi.
Maharakshasi, yes, Maharakshasi. What kind of pratyaya could this be? Lanka Bhimanini. First of all, what is the ending pratyaya there? This pratyaya?
Is it in?
Ata inithanau. This is also, in fact, look at this one back to back. Back to back, we have a Matup. This pratyaya, ini also Matuvarthiya pratyaya. Not only this Matup, but in this Matup adhikara is very nice adhikara, which gives, it is, very useful adhikara it is. From 5294, starts the adhikara of Tadasyasti Asminniti Matup. So because this Tadita Prakaranam is a Maharanyam. It's a Maharanyam. It is a great forest, Tadita. It has more than 1,000 rules. You can easily lost in that. So there is a lot of danger territories in that. It's a difficult. The good news there is that the Angakaram tends to be easy, but to find out which pratyaya is coming in what meaning with what prakriti is a difficult thing. Of course, this one is simple, but in many places because there are many ganas, there are many ganapathas. These Pratipadikam will take this pratyaya, will take that pratyaya. Not only that, in the language, these rules are not followed all the time. Because after, as I said to the joke here, is that after more than 1,000 rules, which is more than 25% of Ashtadhyayi, they say Taditeshu Mudha Paniniyaha. Taditeshu Mudha Paniniyaha. The followers of Panini don't know Taditas, they say, after 1,000 rules. So anyways, but in that Maharanyam, there are some nice little small islands, which are very friendly, very useful. This is one of them. Tadasyasti asminniti matup. So this matup means tadasyasti, one who has that, asminniti, or in him, or in he, she, it can be found. So that is, it's like a possessive, what can we call possessive affix, matup. But it's not only matup. There's a whole section going all the way down to here, which words we not even suspect many of them. Like a word like Keshavaha. In fact, the joke is that in the Bhagavata Puranam, this Keshava kills Keshin. Keshava is Sri Krishna. He kills Keshin. Now Keshin is a Rakshasa. So both Keshava and Keshin come from the Pratipadikam Kesha, and the Pratyaya Matubhati Pratyaya has been used. So that in Keshava also, and this is because Pani has especially the word Keshava. See, Panini has this rule sometimes was more for just one form. Panini puts a sutram. It is Keshadvo Anyatarasyam. Keshad, here it is. This is the word Keshava comes from this one. So all these, nice words come from this with like word Danturaha. So Danturaha comes from this one. So then we get, these Ilach Pratyaya. A lot of nice Pratyayas come over here, which you will not have seen it. So Loma, Adi, Pama, Adi Pratyaya, these Pratyayas given over here. Pratyaya, how about this one? Ra. So this pratyaya Ra might come, which is like Madhura, like pratyaya which like Shamala, Mudula, like Shrila. So all is like word Nagaram also is ending like Nagaram is also ending in the pratyaya, Mutsubartya pratyaya, Nagara. So this is a very nice form, Rajasvala. So here come Rajas, Valash pratyaya coming over here. Word like Vini, Tapaswin, Manaswin, all these pratyas coming over here. So this is a very important section of the Matu Adhikaraha. In that, right now what we need is that this one which says Ata Inithanau. So what we have is this word is called Lankabhimana. If you take first, we can Lankabhimana. We can that's some kind of Tatpurusha compound. So the Abhimana of Lanka, Abhimana in Lanka. So she is the presiding deity of Lanka. So she has a Abhimana. She identifies with Lanka. Lanka Abhimana. And then we take Lanka Abhimana, and then to that is, so the Abhimana of, with Lanka, Abhimana in Lanka, I can say, we can make, doesn't matter, we can make a Tatpurusha compound with that, and to that we can add this Pratyaya Ini, Ata Ini Thanau. Ata Ini means if you Angam, shouldn't say Angam, sorry. This is not, beyond the Adhikara of Niya Pratipadikat. So if the Pratipadikam is Lanka Bhimana, first we made the Lanka Bhimana, that is Pratipadikam, Krutadita Samasascha, and to that we add the Pratyaya Ini in the same artha as Matumarthiya Pratyaya Ini. Of course, Ini because you get the Upadishajana Nasika, it becomes Anubandha Lope, I, in. Anubandha Lope, in. So this was this 54115, Ata Ini Thanau. What's the next step here? How do we get the Akar Lopa here, Ravi?
Is it
Yachibham,
Yachibham? Oh,
yeah. Yascheticha. Because, this is because, remember, the Pratyaya Swadi Pratyaya includes all the sutras from Suavjas 412, end of chapter 5. This is also a Swadi Pratyaya, the Ini. Because all Tadjitas come in this Swadi. What are these Swadis which I'm talking about is 1, 4, 14, 15, 17, 18. Swadishva Sarvanama Sthane Yachibham. Swadishva, I'm sorry, I put the wrong number. I'm sorry, 52. Sorry. Okay. So, Swadishva Sarvanama Sthane Yachibham. So these all these pratyayas. So right now we have a pratyaya which is Ajadi, Yachibham. It is Swadi pratyaya. Of course not Sarvanama Sthanam. Sarvanama Sthanam is only Suo, just amount, and she Sarvanama Sthanam, Pumsakalinge. So because Sarvanama Sthanam is only defined by she Sarvanama Sthanam, Sruna Pumsakasya. So she in the neuter and Suo just amount in so they only part of the sup pratyayas only. So after the sups are finished, there's nothing Sarvanama Sthanam. So the moment you have Tadjita pratyaya, always look for these steps is, does the Angam have the Padasanya? Does it have the Bhasanya? Which the Bhasanya, go to Bhasya Dikara, which we're doing right now. We're going to go to Bhasya Dikara right now and go to the Sutra which says Yachibham. Yachibham means that if you have the Ivarnantasya, Avarnantasya, Bhasanyakasya, Angasya, Lopavati, Tadjite Ikare Chapare. So with this so very, very important Sutra 64148. If the Angam ends in the Ivarna or Avarna, which has a Bhasanya, followed by a Pratyaya which is the Ikara or Tadjitaha. The Ikara is sealing Sri Pratyaha or the Tadjita Pratyaha, then the Angam takes Lopa alone Tyasya. So when you add Tadjita Pratyaha, if it's Ajadi, Angam gets Bhasanya. If the Pratyaya is Haladi, if it's Yachibham, if the Pratyaya is Yakaradi or Ajadi. If it's Yakaradi or Ajadi, Angam gets Bhasanya, come to Bhasya Dikaraha. If it is going to be, remaining, if it is not Yakaradi or Ajadi, then we get the Padasanya. It will go to Padasya Dikaraha. The Padasya Dikaraha, which of course, starts with, I think, 8116 Padasya Dikaraha. Okay, so right now for us, what we can do is that we can make this one Lanka, Bhima, Nin. What's the next step here, Ravi?
Do we add Neep?
Yeah, we have to add, what Sutram?
Tidhane.
Vunnebhyo Neep. Because Abhiman plus in, Abhimanin will become Abhimanin. This what we did was we did the Yachibham Yascheticha Alontyasya. Yachibham Yascheticha Alontyasya.
iti cha alontyasya alontyasya alontasya alontyasya. And then after that we have to make it a feminine form. So we add this sutram which is runnebhyo neep. So when the angam ends in the not angam, sorry, miya prajapadika. When the prajapadikam ends in the rukara or the nakara, then the pratyaya neep becomes. So then after that then use the what number is that? 4415. Because ajajata shtabrunnebhyo neep abhimanini. So it becomes a feminine form. So one who has the abhimana in Lanka, we can say. So we can say she identifies herself with Lanka. Okay. Then the next form what we have is that so these are both. So here ini pratyaya and matup, they are both in the same meaning. Maharakshasi is straightforward. The mahat becomes is a karmadharya samasaha. The mahat becomes maha. We already seen this. Mahat becomes maha. Mahat becomes maha. Which pada ashta will give that sutram? Which pada vashta they will give that? 6.3. Because alug uttara pade ravi. Alug uttara pade. So when you have to do some karyam for the pura padam, then because uttara pade, when uttara padam follows, means we are in a samasa now. So mahat became maha. So there's something is happening to the pura padam in a samasaha. So that means that is the domain of 6.3. An mahataha. Let's say an mahataha 6346. An mahataha samadikarana jatiyayoho. The fact that mahat became maha, of course you get the alone just in akasami dirgha. So it becomes like mahatma, mahamunihi, all this, right? So now what that means is that mahat is samadhikaranam with the uttarapadam. If it's not samadhikaranam, will not get this adesha of maha. You can say mahat seva, mahatam seva, mahat seva, service of the great, and so on. So an mahata samadhikarana jatiyayoho. So when you have samadhikaranam, then we get the mahat takes the at adesha alontyasya akasami dirgha. So we can so maharakshasi. So maharakshasi is a simple karmadharya compound. Visheshanam visheshana bahulam. So maharakshasi maharakshasi. So I'll put the 6346, and then we use of course the alontyasya akasami dirgha 61101. Okay, maharakshasi. And then after that, what do you have, Ravi? Okay, pratyakshi bhuya. Okay, now what's pratyakshi bhuya? Pratyaksha means, pratyaksha means right in front, sakshat. It is right in front of you. But how become pratyakshi bhuya, Ravi? What's happening over here? Pratyakshi bhuya. Of course, the pratyaya lyap is being used here because, it is, we got many examples being sent to you, which is the samana kritikayoha purva kale. Pratyaya will be ktva. Twa becomes lyap. What's the pratyakshi? What's ikara coming from here? What's going on here? What do you think? What is the pratyaya being used over here? What could it be?
Neep?
No, it's not neep. What's not neep? So it says pratigataha aksham pratyakshaha, which is in front of you, which is pratigataha aksham, which it says aksham is indriyam, so which is in the preview of your in the purview of your senses, which has come to your senses, which means that which is directly in front of you, pratyaksha is in front of you. So what happens here is that this is pratyaya chvi, chvi. Abhuta tadbhave kubhvasti yoge sampandhikartari chvi, which is a zero. Pratyaya chvi like spashti karoti, right? Shukli karoti, spashti karanam, shukli karanam, vishadi karanam. So all this is this pratyaya chvi. Pratyaya chvi is a strange thing. It's a pratyaya which is a zero, because sarvapahar lopaha, because upadeshadunasikait chutu virapuktasya. So they all take lopaha. So we end up with the same form. But what is it saying? Amhuta tadbhave, something which was not that is being made that. So pratyakshi bhuja. She was not pratyaksha before. She became pratyaksha afterwards. So means she appeared before him, having appeared directly before him. So pratyakshi bhuja, having become evident to him.
having appeared in front of him. But the condition krubhasti yoge, this pratyaya chvi can only be used in the condition that we are going to use the dhatu kru, bhu or as with it. Only then this pratyaya can be used. Otherwise it cannot be used. Krubhasti yoge. Do we have that? Yes, we do have that. We have the dhatu.
Oh, yeah.
We do have that. Pratyakshi bhuya. So this pratyaksha, we took pratyaksha, and then we add the pratyaya chvi, which took the sarvapahar lopaha. So it was completely gone. So pratyaksha. We get the pratyakshi bhuya. We get pratyaksha plus su we can put over here. Pratyaksha plus su, pratyaksha su, because and then add the pratyaya chvi. The chvi which is by 5,450. Of course, in the meanwhile, what happens is that sarvapahar lopaha, by using the chutu upadishananasikit verapuktasya, and then in the meanwhile, because the pradipika sanya is the samasashcha supodhara pradipika yoho, the su will go away, only pratyaksha will remain. And then what happens, Ravi? Is any idea where the ikar vidaka sutram, Ravi? Anything?
Ikara, no Satish.
Asyachvau. 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 So here what we did is what? We did the chutu. Upadish ajunanasika it, and the verapuktasya, the vakara of V, when it's aprukta, it also goes away, takes lopaha. It's also gone. And then in the meanwhile, kutrita samasascha, supo dhatu pradipdikayoho, supo dhatu pradipdikayoho. And then what we use that, this akara, when this different angam, asyacho, ending in the avarnantam angam, if you have followed by chvi, it becomes the ikaraha. 7,432 Ravis, asyachvau, asyachvau, asyachvau. So 7,432, asyach, angasyadikaraha. Again, the same general Paninian way is to create the pratyaya and the angam, and after that go to the angasyadikaraha, asyachvau, 7,432. This lesson for you, Ravi, today. How to do the pratyaya chvi? It's a common pratyaya. We see it quite a few times. 7,432, 7,432, 7,432, 7,432, 7,432, 7,432, 432. Okay, so that avarnant, some typos here. Avarnantasyangasya chauparataha ikara adesha bhavati alontyasya. Alontyasya. Then we get pratyakshi. We get the form pratyakshi. So pratyakshi. So pratyakshi. And then what do we do? Pratyakshi. So we used asyachvau alontyasya. Alontyasya. And then what happens is that this gets the gati sanya. Uryadi chvidachasya. Uryadi chvidachasya gets the gati sanya. Remember our famous rule, which is the pragrishwaran nipataha. And then we start with the chadav sattve paradayaha. Upasargah kriya yoge gatishcha. Gatishcha. So the upasargas get sanya of gati also. But gati is a bigger bracket. Not only the upasargas, but also these other things, all the way up to te prag dhatoho. The uryadi chvidachascha. So term ending in chvi gets the gati sanya now. And then we can form the gati samasaha. Gati samasaha. With the bhu plus tva. Because pratyaya is tva. Because of saman khartika purva kale. But when we go into in the samasa, of course, the tva becomes lyap. Tva becomes lyap. So uryadi chvidachascha. We just put the final form over here, because otherwise it take a lot of time. So 1,461 gets the gati sanya. So pratyakshi, we can take pratyakshi from here. Pratyakshi bhuya, pratyakshi bhuya, pratyakshi bhuya, pratyakshi bhuya, bhuya. Okay, so we got uryadi chvidachascha gati sanya, kugati pradayaha. This is going to be a tatpurusha samasaha. And then the pratyaya was actually tva pratyaya, but saman kritika purva kale. Then samasanyang purve ktvo lyap. Samasanyang purve ktvo lyap. Lyap adesha pratyakshi bhuya. Means having become evident, having appeared before him. Okay, pratyakshi bhuya. Then what do we have? Pani talena, straightforward, right, Ravi?
Pani talena.
So pani talena. So pani means by the palm, by the talam is by the palm of the hand. So pani talena. Now abhihatya, stitya ekvacham, that's the karanarthi titya. means by the instrument, by her palm, with her palm, kind of slapped him. Abhihatya. Abhihatya, same thing. Only thing here is the tuk agama. What sutram here? Tuk agama, abhihatya.
Rasvasya piti kruti tuk.
So same, abhihatya, these same two rules, except you get the tuk agama. So here the samanakriti is the maharakshasi. In all these, like I heard the lyabantam, means the twantam. But the samanakartri in this case is the rakshasi, maharakshasi, abhihatya. So we get the twa pratyaha, same old thing. We get the lyap adeshaha, and then rasvasya. What number is that? Rasvaspiti tuk. Ravi, what number is that?
I don't know, Satish.
So this is very easy because it's right before Samhitayam. 6171. 6172 is Samhitayam, right? So 6171 Rasvasya Pitikrituk, right before the Anantaram Purvam Sutram. Samhitayam is 72, Rasvasya Pitikrituk. In fact, today we're going to see the Sutram Checha when we see in the form Gachati, etc. Checha, that's 6173, Ravi.
Okay.
6171 Rasvasya Pitikrituk. 6172 is Samhitayam. 6173 is Checha, in the form Gachati, Chati, right? So we're going to see in next class on Saturday, in the earlier class, the Checha. Okay, so that Abhihatya and the Samana Kartika Pura Kale. So now comes so this Maharakshasi, having appeared before him and having struck Hanumantam, this Abhihatya. So actually Abhihatya Pratya Shedhata. So Abhihatya is actually this Hanumantam is a karma of this dhatu also. Abhihan. But we forgot one thing, by the way. What happened to Nakara of Han in this one?
That's Anudattopadesha Vanati Tanotyadinam.
Tanotyadinam.
Anunashikalopo
Jhalikiniti. But is anything else going on here? But dhatu Han, right? But it took the Nakara Lopaha. But where is the Jhalikiniti over here? Because we had only the year, right? So let's not, I think I went too fast here, I'm sorry. Okay. So what we'll do is let us first make it up. Let's take the like this, Ravi. Let's make it Abhihanya for the time being. Abhihan, Han, and then we got the Lyap. Okay, so we did this one. We got this. Now what's the next step is now? Tell me what the next step is after this. What's the next step? I got the Twa became Lyap. Now what's the next step now? I cannot use 6437, right? Because there's Jhalikiniti. I don't have that. Sutram you gave me is the Anudatupadesha Manasitanotyani, Ramanasikallopo, Jhalikiniti. I cannot, because this is not Jhali, this is Yakara here.
But, yeah, that's...
Next Sutram, Anantaram Sutram, Valyapi. Next Sutram, Ravi, Valyapi. Is the same dhatus, they take the Anunasik Valyapi. But this one has Vyavasthita Vibhasha. What's called Vyavasthita Vibhasha. This Vibhasha is Vyavasthita. There's a Vyavastha in this Vibhasha. Because which says that the Nakarantanam Nityam Lopaha. Makarantanam Vikalpena. Like when Gita Nihatya Dhata Rashtra Naha Kapi Tisya Jana Nihatya Dhata Rashtra comes in Gita. Nihatya Dhata Rashtra Naha. Nihatya only one form, Ravi. You get Agamya and Agatya as two forms. Even though Valyapi says the Nakara Lopa is optional, this has a Vyavastha in that. Vyavastha means that Nakaranta Dhatu is Nityam Lopaha. The Makaranta will be Vaikalpika Lopaha. Let's look at this. So yes, I went too fast on that. So 6438 is Valyapi. Because 6437 was saying Anudatopadesha Manasitanotyadinam Aninasika Jhalikiniti. And Valyapi is saying that those same set of dhatus, so is that Yapi Parataha Anudatopadesha Manasitanotyadinam Aninasika Vabhavati. Vyavasthita Vibhasha Cha Iyam. You see that? Tena Makarantanam Vikalpo Bhavati. Anyatra tu Nityam Eva Lopaha. This says Pranamya Agatya. So you get Agatya Agamya. Makarantana. But look at this one. Ahatya, only one form. Ahatya. So this will only one for you. Will not get the form Abhihanya. Only Abhihatya. So Gita example is when you chant Gita next time, Ravi. You say Nihatya Dhata Rashtra. Now think of Valyapi. Vyavastha and Valyapi. Think of the Vyavastha also is there in that. Because the Vyakhyanam, whether Vyakhyanam, we know the Vyavastha is there. So Bhagavad Gita, Nihattadhata, chapter 1. Kapi Tisya Janardana. Papamiva Ashedhastman Tveta. So if you know the grammar of Gita well, it's such a strong position, to know all these things. In Gita, we already have this Sutram Valyapi in Gita, 1.36 Nihatya. The same thing we have in Ramayanam, which is what we have the Abhihatya. So okay, so let's put that. So now what we have to really use here is that we have to use. So then what happens? Okay, that's just the second step now. So we're going to get Abhi, Ha plus Ya. So this is the Valyapi. This is the Vyavasthita Vibhasha, Valyapi. And then we have to use Rasvasya Pitikajituk after that. So now after this one, we get Abhi, Hat, Ya by Rasvasya Pitikajituk. Okay, Ravi? You're fine? So Gita example is Nihattadhata Rashtranaha, 1.36. So next time we chant Gita, think of the Sutram Valyapi, Vyavasthita Vibhasha, along with Rasvasya Pitikajituk, 6.171, right before Samhitayam. Yeah, 1.36, right? 1.36. Okay. Next thing is Abhihatya. Now Pratyashedata. This should be easy for Ravi. Let's do this one. Pratyashedat. So what's this? This is Prati Ashedat. Remember, Tingantana Samasyate. This is not a compound. It's not a samasaha. So we have to take Dhatu Siddh. Pratyashedat. See, Dhatu Siddh in Dhatu Patha might come in 2-3 places. Let's see if we can show that one. So the Dhatu Patha. Let's see, Dhatu Siddh. Like Sedhati. Dhatu Siddh becomes Sedhati. So Siddh. Dhatu Siddh. I think this is the Shidhu Sedhati. I think this is the one we want. Shidagatyam, correct. So Pratyashedha means to block. So this is the one, the Shidagatyam. Because okay, so we do the Lang Lakara. I think we should be very straightforward. So we got the Prati is Upasargaha. It will not participate in the Ting and the Prakriya. So Prati Addagamaha by Lang Shodhataha. Then Dhatu Siddh will take the Guna Adesha. I'm skipping a lot of steps over here. So Sedh, of course Shap will be there, and then the tip will become Itashcha. So I skipped a lot of steps because we've done this now in the class many times. So here we have used the, of course, the Anadjatane Lang, I think it's 32111, Anadjatane Lang, and then we got used to tip Tashji, etc. Then we use Itashcha with 34100 Itashcha, the Anti-Ikarasya Lopaha. In the meanwhile, we got Kartari Shap, then Puganta Lagupatasya Cha, Puganta Lagupatasya Cha Gunadeshaha, Puganta Lagupatasya Cha Gunadeshaha, and then after that, we got the Ad Agamaha. Okay, now question for Ravi is that, how about the Mudanya, Pratyashetat, how we get that now? Because
this is Adesha Pratyayo.
We can try that, but if we do that, right? When we do the end Pratya Shedhat, so where the Sakar is by the Akara now, right? Because Adesha Pratyayoho, if we try to use Adesha Pratyayoho, what happens is that here this is 8359 Adesha Pratyayoho, and that says Num Visajaniya Sharvavayapi. Vyavadharam of the Ad Agama is there, Ravi. We cannot use that because first of all, yes, the Dhatu in the Dhatu Patha. Let's start. Is this an Adesha? First question is this Sakar an Adesha Sakara? Dhatu Patha, Dhatu is Shidha. Dhatu Adesha Saha. That's the first thing. If this is not a Shopadesha Dhatu, there's no question of Adesha Pratyayoho. To use Adesha Pratyayoho, this Sakar should be an Adesha Pratya Avayavahatva. So this Dhatu in the Dhatu Patha we talked about earlier, have the class today, is that the Dhatu Adesha Saha, 6164. So yes, it's an Adesha. Okay, that is fine. We got the Adesha. But then we have the Ad Vyavadhanam. Vyavadhanam of the Ad Agam. What do you think, Ravi? Any guesses? What can we do now? Because we got the Vyavadhanam, so I should put this number in the Dhatu part. So very first thing is the Dhatu Adesha. Before doing anything else, Dhatu Adesha Saha.
becomes siddh. Then only we come over here. Okay, Ravi. What's happening here is that let's look below down there. Below this adesha pratyayoho in this murdhanya adesha prakaranam. This is also an adhikara here of murdhanyaha. Upadantasya murdhanyaha. Upadantasya murdhanyaha. First of all, adesha pratyayo is coming. Then is coming the sutram which says that the nishedha comes by sat padadyoho. A padadi sakara will not take the murdhanya adesha. But right now we are okay because we have the padam is asedhat. It's not sakaradi. But then how can we get the shattam over here? How can we get the shattam? There is this nice sutram over here which says pari ni vibhya seva sita saya sivu saha surtu sanjam. Okay. Then we have another sutram over here. Upasargat sunoti suvati syati sauti stobhati stha sena seda. This dhatu seda Panini mentions in 8365. What it says is that when the upasarga is a nimittam of an inkoha, obviously, the sakara of these dhatus can take the murdhanya shakara deshaha. Why was sutram required? Because what happened is that if the sutram was not there, then we would have had sat padadyoho. Sat padadyo would have stopped the shattam here. So because why not just use adesha pratyayoho like nishedhati? We say nishedhati when we have to use that. We cannot just use adesha pratyayoho because sat padadyoho. The padadi sakara will not take a murdhanya adesha. That's why Panini specifically has a vishesha sutram where he says that upasarga sthat nimittat these dhatus sunoti suvati syati stauti stobhati stha sena ya sedha. So sedha is there. We still have a problem though. We have an ad agama intervening, Ravi. So what do we do now? Because all this is only going to be in koho. We have the akara prior to that now. So we get akara prior to it. So the nishedha. Nishedha comes from same dhatu. Nishedha. Yes, Vasu. Nishedha. What we do now is that this is this one, Ravi. Prak sitad advyavayepi. So now it says that up to the dhatu sita praksi, this one sita over here. So all these dhatus, which were mentioned over here, up to this dhatu sita praksitad advyavayepi. So includes sedha. So finally now we are home free. So it says advyavayepi. So praksitad advyavayepi. So pratyashedhat. Even we had prati ashedhat. So this 8363 finally saved the day for us. Praksitad advyavayepi. If you know the general rules, you can use specific rules. Okay, that's what the point here is that because we know the rule which says that you can do the murdhanya adesha by adesha pratyayoho. We already saw by 6164 the sakara is an adesha, dhatu adesha. Okay, that was fine. But we don't have the in letter preceding the sakara. We have the vyavadhanam of the ad. That will not work because only vyavadhanam which is allowed is this two. Num visajaniya sharvivayapi. While the akara clearly is not in that list. So we are stuck with the form that we cannot get that form. So then we got to look for specific dhatus to spontaneously give any vidhanam for that, and surely he does. Is that here Panini says is that upasarga sthat we can get shattam for these dhatus, but still we have a problem because we have the advyavadhanam. So again Panini says here is that prak sita up to dhatu sita, which comes all the way up to here. So all these dhatus up to sita. Prak sita advyavayepi. So 8363 finally says that upasarga sthat nimittad. Nimittad is there. Advyavayepi. Advyavaya also is there. We can do the murdhanya adesha. I just put so pratyashedhat. 8363 praksita advyavayepi. Praksita advyavayepi. Praksita advyavayepi. Okay, Ravi?
Yes, okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's the complicated thing over here. But if you apply the rule that you know, you will not get this form. You got prati ashedhat. So there are two complications here. One is that the sakara was a padadi. Then ad agama came, it's not padadi anymore, but the advyavadhanam is there. So we have to get some sutra for that. Okay, so what's the final meaning over here?
Is that you want to try this one, Ravi? This appearing in person. What is that? Before. What would that be? This one. Pratyakshi bhuya. Pratyakshi bhuya, right? Pratyakshi bhuya. So Hanuman is Hanumantam. While he was making his way.
Pravishantam.
Pravishantam. Pravishat Prajapadikkam. It's a present participle. Into Lanka is this one. Lankam is a karma of dhatu. Which at night is
Nishi.
Nishi. And then the mighty ogress is
Maharakshasi.
Presiding over the city is
Lankabhimani.
Lankabhimani, city of Lanka. Stops is
Abhihatya.
Pratyashid. Pratyashid is to stop, block. Him is understood from Hanumantam. Striking.
Abhihatya.
Him again is Hanumantam. With the palm of her hand.
Panitalena.
This is clearly Shashtat Purusha. Panitalena. Okay. Let's do the next part now. Atho Hanumata Nariti Vamamushtina Nundam Tadita Pi Vivala Kapina Tvai Parajitayam Lanka Vinash Samayaha Samprapta Iti Viddhiti Brahmano Vacho Nivedayanti Parastraveshamanvajana. Okay. The word Padavichara is Atho is an Ambiyam, means Atadantaram. After that, Hanumata is what? Straightforward, right? Why Hanumata? So now this is what happens is that Hanuman is actually the karta over here of this one Tadita, Hanumata Tadita. And how does karta go in Tritiya? Because Sutram is Kartikarnayo Tritiya. Only when the karta becomes Abhihita, then only he defaults to Prathama. But the default Sutram is Kartikarnayo Tritiya. So strange, normally we say that the subject is in Prathama. That's not the case. Because that the karta goes in the Prathama, default Prathama, only becomes Abhihita. Abhihita means when he connects, when he's already spoken about Abhihita, comes in Gita, Esha Ate Vita Sankhya. When it connects with the Tingantam Padam, generally speaking, when Tingantam Padam has already described, is connecting with the karta, then only the karta will default to the Prathama Sutram down here. Prajapadikartha Linga Parimana Vachana Matre Prathama. But otherwise, as a first stop, karta will take Tritiya. So when you say Ramena Sita Drishta. So Sita was seen by Rama. Rama is the karta. Sita is the karma. Don't forget, even though Sita takes the Prathama Vibhakti, doesn't become she lost. Karmatvam is not lost. Even in the sentence Ramena Sita Drishta or Drishyate, Sita still has the karma sanya. Don't confuse these two things. One is the karma sanya, one is the vibhakti. Because karma sanya Sita will still have even in the past, and Rama will be karta. That will obviously will not change. Because Rama is looking at Sita. Sita seen by Rama. So Ramena Sita Drishta. Sita has karma sanya, but instead of getting karmani dvitiya now, what happens is that she now gets the prathama. So if you let's make it much simpler, Ramena Sita Drishyate. Sita is seen by Rama. So what happens is that the Drishyate is the Tinganta Padam. It's connecting with Sita now. Sita is driving Drishyate. Sita is being seen by Rama. So Sita became Abhita because the Tinganta Padam Drishyate is connecting with Sita now. But on the other hand, you can say Ramaha Sitam Pashyati. And when you say that, Sita still has karma sanya, Rama has karta sanya, but Rama become Abhita now. Tinganda Padam Pashyati is connected with Ramaha. So he goes to Prathama and Sita goes to Ditya by Karmani Ditya. So here what we have is that we have this is passive form again. So Hanuman is the karta, but he is Anabheta karta. So you go Titya, so Hanumata, Titya. Okay, now Nari iti. Iti ends the quotation. We have now, how many itis do we have? We have one iti over here, Nari iti, one iti we have here. One more iti, Samprapta iti, second iti we have here. And we also have Vidhi iti, third iti we have here. So in each case, can you tell us in each case, Ravi, where the iti begins, where the quotation begins now? Here, Nari iti.
So it begins at Nari.
Only Nari is in the quotation. So first thing is that when you see the iti karanam drishyate, you have to find out from which point the quotation begins. It's a very good exercise for you. You can go through Gita, go through all of Gita. Naiva kinchit karomi iti comes in Gita. So karomi iti. So naiva kinchit karomi, that's in the iti. Iti could contain one letter, could contain the whole book also. So it really depends on the context. End of Gita, right? Iti Upanishad. So Om Tat Sat Iti, right? Om Tat Sat Iti means that it includes the whole chapter maybe. So iti here only Nari is in the Nari iti matva, thinking that she is only a lady. Nari iti matva. So now this iti includes what? This second iti, what does it include?
Lanka Vinasha Samayaha Sampraptaha.
I think more than that. Yes, also. Kapina Tvai Parajitayam. Lanka Vinasha Samaya Samprapta iti. That's the quotation of Brahma. Iti. This is that is when you have been overpowered by a monkey, then the time of destruction of Lanka has come. Iti Vidhi. Know this to be iti. Iti Brahmana Vachaha. So the Brahma's words were ending up to here, up to Vidhi. So within Brahma's quotation is the quotation now, what Brahma said to her. So Brahma said to her that Kapina Tvai Parajitayam Lanka Vinasamaya Samprapta iti Vidhi. Iti Vidhi. It was the Brahma's quotation. So Brahmaji said to her, Kapina Tvai Parajitayam, when you have been overpowered by a monkey, Lanka Vinasamaya Samprapta iti Vidhi. And then the second iti now say that is the quotation of Brahmaji. It's a little bit complicated. So this outside iti is going from here to here. Kapina Tvai Parajitayam Lanka Vinasamaya Samprapta iti Vidhi. Then the inside iti is going up from here to here now, which is the Kapina Tvai Parajitayam Lanka Vinasamaya Samprapta. And this iti only includes the word Nari. Okay. So Nari iti matva. So considering that she was only a woman, Nari iti, because inside iti is a separate sentence. Inside the iti, generally you have a separate sentence. It is standalone. So when you say Nari iti, iyam Nari iti, iyam Nari asti iti, you have to complete the sentence inside the quotation. Inside the quotation, you have to make a sentence. So Nari iti means iyam Nari asti iti. So she is only a lady. Nari pratama ekavachanam. This is straightforward. Vama Mushina. Vama means can also mean like Vama Keshi, right? Comes in I think Lalita Sasnama Stotram. So Vama can mean beautiful. Vama also means left. So it's a couple of meanings it has. So Vama, let's look at what Apteji says for Vama. So Vama can have different meanings. One of them is the left. So when he says Vama Mushtina with the left hand. Vama Mushtina. Not with the beautiful hand, with the left hand. So Vama can mean left, opposite of Dakshina. On the left side, reverse, contrary, crooked, hard, vile, wicked, lovely, lovely, beautiful, charming. Vama Lochana, Vamoru, Vama Bruhu. So Vama Sabhavaha. So these are all means like a lovely. One who has beautiful eyes, lady with Vama Lochana, Vamoru, Vama Bruhu, Vama. But here it is not just simply meaning left. Kamadhara compound straightforward. So Vama Mushtinam, which means Mushti, which is of course the Anguna Striyam Titya Ekavachanam like Harina, which is left hand, which is left fist. Mandam is what's going on here, Ravi? Mandam is what is
Mandam
here?
Is Dvitiya Ekavachanam.
Kriya Visheshanam. It's a Kriya Visheshanam for Tadita. Because means even though struck gently, you have to be careful about this. Because you see a Visheshanam which has been declined, Napumsakalinge, Dvitiya Ekavachanam, you always try to suspect that it might be a Kriya Visheshanam. Because Mandam is not qualifying any Nama Shabda over here. There is nothing in the noun form which is qualifying Mandam, which Mandam is qualifying. So then, like, Dukkham Aptum comes in Gita, Dukkham Aptum Ayogataha. Dukkham Aptum means not to obtain sorrow. Doesn't mean to obtain sorrow. It means obtain with difficulty. So that you have to always be careful of like Sukham Jivati. she lives happily. No? So these are like mandam dhavati, means he runs slowly. So these adjectives are used. This is a Vartikam under 2418, which is that Kriya Visheshananam Klibata Ishyate.
Karmatvam klibata cha.
Klibata cha. So correct. So 2418 is the Vartikam. So this mandam is a Kriya Visheshanam. Kriya Visheshanam. All of you look out for these. Sometimes they can be Bahuvri compounds. I think Shiva Mahimna Stotram, there's this long compounds, Bahuvri compounds, end up being declined as Napumsakalinge Dvitiya Ekavachanam. The whole thing is an adverb to some other verb. So we have to be very careful about these. So the lesson to be learned is that if we see an adjective which includes all Bahuvri compounds, of course, and which is declined in Dvitiya Ekavachanam in Napumsakalinge, then if you cannot fit it to qualify another noun, start thinking maybe adverb, maybe, and look at the placement, maybe placement. So this Avya Bhavashya, there's a Vartikam on this, which says that Kriya Visheshanam, Klibata, Karmatvam Ishyate. So that is the, so what we'll do is just mandam is a Kriya, which is an adverb, dhatu third. So third, so mandam used as an adverb, mandam is used adverbially. And this is 2418 Vartikam. Okay. So okay, now next one you do, this is easy. Next one is Tadita. What's the dhatu here? Tadita.
Tadita.
Dhatu is
third
third.
or third?
Third. Let's see. Dhatu is third. Third aghate. Tada aghate. This is 10.64. Churadi. So tadayati. Tada aghate. So of course here we'll do the atopadhaya and then make it the dhatu tadi. So tada aghate. Take that dhatu from the dhatu patha. And then aghate is a strike, dhatu tada aghate. So when we take that, and then first order of business is that of course this akara at the end. So 10.64, right? It's 10.64 in Dhatu Patha. Look at 10.64. Let's see, 10.64. Tada aghate. 10.64. Okay, tada aghate. The ending akara is going to be uchcharanartham. It could be, I think, an it letter. Tada aghate. 10.64. Yeah, tada aghate is an it letter. Tada aghate. So Upadesha Janunasike, the akara goes, so when you get Anubandha Lope, you get dhatu third. We just put this one over here. Then we add Patya Nich, right? Swarte Nich, right?
Yes, sir.
So Churadibhyo Nich, Satyapapasha Ityadina Nich. So when these dhatu Churadi Ganaha, they take Nich Swarte. Without changing their meaning, they take the Patya Nich. So we get Anubandha Lope third. Plus Nich, Churadi. Of course, Nich means Chutu Halantyam, with the Ikaraha, Chutu Halantyam, and this is by Satyapapasha Ityadi, Churadibhyo Nich. So we saw in the class today that this is the new Dhatu Sanya now, because of this Anadyanta Dhatu. And of course, in the meanwhile, Atopadhaya becomes Tadi. So Tadi is a new Dhatu now. Tadi gets a Dhatu Sanya. But we did the 7-2 Sanadhyanta Dhatavaha, 3-132, and we also got Atopadhaya. Okay, now to go on Tadita, Pratya we use this Kta. It's Sutta Nishtha, 3-102. So we take Tadi, and add the Pratya, Kta Pratya, which is the Taktavatu Nishtha is Sanya Sutram, 3-102 is the Sutram, is the Nishtha Vidhayaka Sutram. Of course, both Kta and Tavatu take the Sanya of Nishtha by Taktavatu Nishtha. But this is a passively used because normally your Kartari Krut, because every Krut Pratya will be normally in the active voice, but this is not active voice because of Tayoreva Krutyakta Kalarthaha. So Tayoreva Krutyakta Kalarthaha. So because makes it into Karmani Bhavakarmanoho Eva becomes passive, but 3-4-70 makes it passive. What's the next step here, Ravi?
We have to add the top.
Before that. Of course, Lashapatadite will use that one. That's going to go. What else? Anything else here?
idagama, idagama. Ardhatuka shade valadehe, ardhatuka shade valadehe. Because remember, the in nisha, this is because anubandha lopa when you do the pratyaya, when you get ta as a pratyaya, anubandha lashakvatadite. Then what happens is that this pratyaya is valadi. Valadi means all consonants except the yakara, valadi. So tadita, when we do that, now the in nisheda only comes by 7 to 10. Ekacha position is ekacha. This is not ekacha. This is a tadi is an ekacha. So this is not going to come into domain at all. So this is idagamaha by 7 to 35. Now what do we do, Ravi? So idagama is tadita. But it is there.
Oh, it is there.
Next sutram, Ravi. Anantram sutram. You're in the right area.
Okay.
Nishtayam seti.
Nishtayam seti.
Nishtayam seti. So what happens is that the nich takes lopahana, but nishtayam seti. Whether we were saying near niti is in the right place, near niti, 6-4 that says anidada varsdake pare. Anidada vardhatu kapare ne lopasya. But that only says aniti. So we cannot use 6-4-51, but we can use the next sutram, nishtayam seti. So in all these, nishtha pratyek mohitam comes in Gita, mohitam na vijanati. So in all cases in Gita, when we have the nich pratyaya, followed by the nishtha, then of course nishtha will take the id agamaha. In that case, it is really the id agamaha which is being seen in the file. So id shruyate, so nich lupyate. So nish takes lopaha, while the id agama remains behind. So nishtayam seti, 6-4-52, removes the nishtha, and id agama stays behind. Id agama stays behind for the pratyaya. So then use 6-4-52. 6-4-52. Okay, nishtha. So third is, and then at top. Then of course I make it feminine. Ajadyata shtap, akastame dirgha, the usual. So that nothing special about that. So that is, we can do that. So tadita is struck. So this is churadigana. So tadita. Api is avyayam. Even though she was struck only gently with the left fist. Vivvala means she staggered. So she was shaken up. Vivvala is an adjective. Now comes the quotation. Kapina is what? Titiya ekavachanam. Kapina. Twayi parajitayam. What kind of saptami is this?
Sati saptami.
Sati saptami. What's the sutram, Ravi, for that? Yascha bhavena bhavalakshanam. Yascha bhavena bhavalakshanam. Which pada would this be? Which pada would this be, Ravi? See, any vibhakti vidhanam is 2.3, Ravi. Vibhakti vidhanam is only in 2.3 of Ashtadhyayi. Only one single pada of Ashtadhyayi does the vibhakti vidhanam. In fact, it's not a long pada at all. It only has 70 odd rules. So really, if you want to be the samrata, you want to be the vibhakti samrat, so only one pada. We can do the abhyasa, adhyan on this one single pada of Ashtadhyayi, 2.3. Of course, the little complication here is that this 2.3 uses the sanya of karaka sanya, which will come in 1.4. But still, the bottom line is that any vibhakti assignment, vibhakti vidhanam, is only done vitiyasya tritiye, the third pada of the second chapter of Ashtadhyayi, nowhere else. So when you want to justify any vibhakti, you have to find one sutram in 2.3. Vibhakti means every sentence has so many vibhaktis, right? So in every sentence, every single sentence almost, you have to use 2.3 Ashtadhyayi, 2.3. So now this section of karake, which is in 1.4, gives only the karaka sanyas, which will then be used in 2.3. But this particular case, not every, so 2.3 will use the karaka sanyas, but not in every sutram. Not in every sutram. Right now we don't need karaka sanya, because right now what is given is yascha bhavena bhavalakshanam. Bhava is kriya. By one kriya, you get the time of another lakshanam, which says, it says, right? So mai agate atra. When I have on my coming here, something is happening, So this is, so what we have in this, so yascha bhavena bhavalakshanam.
when the timing of one kriya, which is a prasiddha kriya, well-known kriya, gives a lakshana of another kriya. So it has to be, should not be samana karta, by the way, not samana karta. When A does B, on A doing B, then something else happens. C does something else. So here what we have, so 2, 3, 37 is Tvai parajitayam, on you being conquered, parajitayam, by a monkey, then Lanka vinashtamaya sampraptaha. That means that you know that the time of destruction of Lanka has come. So Tvai parajitayam is sati saptami va yascha bhavena bhavalakshanam, yascha bhavena bhavalakshanam. So Tvai parajitayam is sati saptami. So sat saptami is a better word. Sati saptami, sat saptami. Tvai parajitayam. Of course, parajitayam. So what's this one? Parajitayam. What's going on with the parajitayam? Dhatu ji, right? Parajita. So paraj is to be defeated. So parajita. By the time is same pratyaya. This is only dhatu ji. This is not niche, just straightforward nishtha pratyaya. These same steps, like get nishtha, taktavatu, nishtha, and tap, kasavin dirgha, parajita. So parajitayam is saptami vidhanam. Saptami vidhanam by yascha bhavena bhavalakshanam. Bhavena bhavalakshanam. What's called sati saptami. Okay, sat saptami. All right. So that is inside the quotation. Inside the quotation, sat saptami. Now this compound is straightforward. Lanka vinasha samayah. Lankayaha vinasha. Tasya samayah. So this is Shashti Tatpurushaha. So the time, that's the
typo there on sati saptami.
I'm sorry. Sat saptami, right? Where's the typo? Which one here? Vasu? What's the typo?
Sati saptami.
Yeah, this is a better word. It's from avashyam. Sat is a better term to use. I know sati saptami is a more common term, But sat saptami is slightly better term. So we'll same thing. Sat saptami, sati saptami are both used, but this one is technically this one is a better one.
Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
In fact, you can look at Dictionary of Abhyankar. Look at that. He talks about this. Look at that. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll look at that. Recently I heard.
Look under Saptami. Look under Sati Saptami in Abhyankar. He'll explain that to you. Sati Saptami, Sati Saptami.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know that.
No, it's okay. So here comes the Lanka Vinashamayaha Sampraptaha. Sampraptaha, of course, is dhatu. Sampra plus ap. Now this is used. How come this is not in the passive voice? Because we just talked about Kapina Parajitayam. So this was a passive voice, right? On you being defeated. But in English also we say saptami. In English also we say saptami. In English also. On seeing in my left. So on seeing, on knowing. So that on is saptami in English. Sat saptami. So Kapina, this is again the same thing. The Kapi is the karta. Because of the Katikarnayo Tritiya became Tritiya in Parajitayam. But then how come this is not Karmani, Ravi? This became Kartari. How is that? Same Pratyakta is being used, right?
Is it qualifying Lanka Vinasha Samaya?
That's fine, but the Pratyakta, we just saw that Tayoreva Pratyakta Kalartha, right? Pratyakta is used only when which is Bhava Karmano. This is not Bhava Karmano, because this is not Bhava, because Sampapt, he is a Karta here. The time has come. It is not being come on by something else. The time has come, Sampraptaha. So, what is happening over here now?
Is there an exception when the Upasarga Sam is
there? It's good. But what happened is that, Ravi, is that, first of all, okay, Kartari Krit is the first sutram. Then we saw this Tayoreva Krityakta Kalarthaha. But then comes very important rule, which is this one. Gatyartha Karmaka Shlisha Shing Sthasa Vasajana Ruha Jiryati Bhyascha. Most importantly, Gatyartha Karmaka. Ramo Vanangataha. That Gataha is not passive. It's Kartari because it's Gatyartha. Also Akarmakaha. Ahamatra Sthitaha. I'm standing here. Of course, it cannot be Karmani less, that case. So So when you have a gatyata dhatu, akarmaka dhatu, and some others also, shli, shashing, stha, etc., etc. Now these, by the way, why is stha mentioned again here, even this akarmaka dhatu? Because even when stha takes an upasarga and becomes akarmaka, even then it can go in kartari artha. So pratyakta can be used kartaricha. You can also say Ramena vanam gamyate. Iti api vaktum shakyate. You can also say Ramena vanam gamyate, also say Ramo vanam gataha. Now what do we have? Which one do you have? You think actually sampraptaha. It has arrived. I think gatyartha, right? Gatyarthaka. The time has arrived. So this is now becoming kartari because it is a gatyartha. Samprapta, sampraap. The time has arrived. So we'll have to use, it is, so sampraptaha is been used kartari because 3, 4, 72. Yeah, these are all subtle points of grammar, because if you understand these, you can get more and more. See, grammar gives you more and more ammunition to understand the abhipraya of the speaker, sampraptaha. Samprapta is used kartari. So it's kartariktaha. So kartariktaha. Pratyakta has been used kartari by 3, 4, 72. Sampraptaha. The time has come. The time has come. Okay. So iti and the pute. Yes.
This is a wild question. Would it be samprapte?
No, samprapte is something else. No, this is the second action, Vasu, because on you being overpowered by a monkey, then the time is come. If it is samprapte, then on the time coming, something else has to happen then. So this is the yes.
So the sandhi will be the same, right? Samprapta.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, sandhi will be the same. Samprapte iti sampraptaha iti, both the same sandhi, because in either case, you're going to get, if you say samprapte iti, you can echo yavayavaha. Sampraptas iti, you're going to get the bho, bhago, agopurva se yoshi. Either case you get lopa shakal, jasya purvatra siddham. Yes. So samprapte iti and sampraptaha iti. Both cases will give only samprapto iti. In fact, let's go to Gita for a second. Always go to Gita. Here we have in Gita. In fact, I can give you Gita 2 examples, Vasu, where you can see this same sandhi which you're talking about. In that, it is that Yesham loka imaha praja. Look at this one in Gita. This is loke imaha. See this one? Loke. See, loke imaha. Not lokaha. It's loke imaha. Padacheda over here. Chapter 3 in the Gita. Guna guneshu vartanta iti matvana sajjate. Chapter 3 of Gita. So again same thing. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. Yes, correct. So here, this one. Guna guneshu vartante iti padacheda. So yes, you're right. From this you do not know. Padacheda is sampraptaha or samprapte. So from the context you can see Lanka Vinasha Samayaha is Samadhikarana with Samprapta. So yes, so from the context only we know it is Samprapta iti. So on you being defeated by a monkey, the time of destruction of Lanka has arrived. Thus you understand. Now Vidhi. What's the form here, Ravi? Vidhi?
Vidhi is Vidajnane lot Madhyama Purusha Ekavachanam.
Very good. So now, which gana is this? Dhatu.
This is Adadi gana. And you get Hujalbhyo Herdhihi.
Very good. You got everything right. What was Shapluk by? What's the term Shapluk by?
Adiprabhrutibhya Shapaha.
Shapaha. Very good. So what we really had was with plus SIP by 3478, and then in the meanwhile what happened, of course, we had with plus lot, skipping some steps. And then we got the Kartari Shap. Adiprabhutibhya Shapaha Shapluk. So when the Adadi Gana Dhatu following that, the Shap takes look. Adiprabhutibhya Shapaha is Shapluk. Is 247 right? No, correct number, Ravi? 247 is correct number or not? Yeah. Adiprabhutibhya Shapaha Shapluk. So what happens is that we get Seriya picture, which we know by now, 3487 Seriya picture. Then after that comes the Hujalbhyo Herdhi. What number would that be? Ravi, who jal bhyo herdi, is following a jal, the he becomes the. So this is not the sandhi rule, which is the jayo anyatarasyam, by the way. This is not anyatarasyam. Because the sutram, like Srimad Dhanuman, etc., that's only a varna niyama, and that comes in the Tripadi section. So we are not using jayo anyatarasyam. It is not that with plus he becoming vidhi by sandhi rule. No, it is not. That would be anyatarasyam. So there's only one form here. So this is the hu jal bhyo herdi. Where would that be? What number is that? Hu jal bhyo herdi. Here it is. Right here, 64101. Hu jal bhyo herdi. Hu jal bhyo herdi. So vidhi. So vidhi. Will become vidhi. So this what we have done is that we have done the Seherya picture and hu jal bhyo herdi. So vidhi means jani, understand. So you and of course the karta can only be tvam. But the purusha ekvachanam karta can only be tvam. So you understand. This ends the other quotation, outside quotation now. So brahmana is of course shashti ekvachanam, vacha is ditya ekavachanam. So the words of Brahma, the utterance of Brahma, which said that with you understand that the time of destruction of Lanka has arrived when on you being overpowered by a monkey. Now vacha is ditya ekvachanam, is karma of what, Ravi? What do you think?
Vidhi?
Of Nivedayanti, this one here. So she was informing Hanuman of this utterance by Brahma in this form, this utterance of Brahma. So Brahmano vachaha Nivedayanti. Now what Nivedayanti, what's going on over there? What's the dhatu there?
It's also Vidajnani.
But what else is going on in there?
I think there's Ugitascha, Num.
Before that, even way before that.
Then Nich, Nijanta.
Very good, Nijanta. Because look at the Aya. With this become Vedi, Nivedayati, means to inform. Nived, if you look at Vidajnane, so Nivedayati is to inform, Nivedayati. So let's look at Apte, I think Apte might give that, Nivid. You look at Apte under Nivid and see if you can find it. I think the causative form Nivid is to inform. So vid will become Vedi. Then of course we got Sanajanta Dhatavaha. As Ravi said, we had been a Pratya Lat, then became Pratya Shatru. Shatru Shana Shavatama Samadhikarane. Num Agama comes what sutram? Ravi, the Num Agama, what sutram?
Is it this Ugidacham Sarvanamasthane Dhatu?
It's only Sarvanamasthane. The Pratya is going to be Neep over here, right?
Oh, Neep.
Nadi Pratya.
Is it Ugitascha?
No, Ugitascha will only give Neep, not will. Yeah, Ugitascha will give Neep, yes, correct. But I want the Numa, correct. Ugitascha will give the Neep. But what about the Numa was my question. We all done in the Saturday class. We have done in a class. Which is it? What sutram? Achidadyornum. Then Shapshanor Nityam, right? Achinadyornum. Then Shapshanor Nityam. Yeah, these four, actually, I mentioned that class. These four rules are so confusing. Anyway, we'll go there in a second. Let's finish this one first. Nivid. So Nivid in the causative, generally in the causative. Yeah, Nivid causative. To come into to communicate, to inform. So this is correct. What's happening, Ravi, is that once you get the form ni, so ve the yat, now when you add the sthir pratyaya ni nivedayati, then we get achi nadyor num at. So prior to the shap, the angam was nivedaya, because you had prior to shatru, I'm sorry. So prior to shatru, angam was nivedaya. If you have at, if you have a avarnantam angam for the pratyaya shatru is followed by the shi nadyoho. Nadi means this si pratyaya nip. Then we'll take the num optionally, but shap shanor nityam. This all happens in the same thing. I think 7181. Shap shanor nityam. We had this in the sutra doc when we had this in the sutra doc. We have done this in the class, so let's see. It is 7181. Shapshano Nityam. I'm sorry, yes, correct. 7181. Shapshano Nityam. No, I'm in the wrong place. I'm sorry. Shapshano Nityam Sutra Suchi Gandaloku. No, I should be in the right place. Let me try. 71. We should have it. We did it in the class. This one we done in the class. So 7181. Yeah, we have it. Shapshano Nityam is that when a term which is part of a Shatru Pratyaya follows an Angam ending in the Avarnaha. So we are going to have Ni, Ve, the, Ya with the Shap Pratyaya at the end of that. Belonging to the Shap, Shan Pratyaya, because as we have that, then an Angam ending in such a term we always take the Num Agamaha when Shi or Nadi or Ni Pratyaya follows. So we can, of course, we are out of time now, so we're out of time. But let's put some basic rules here. What's first of all happening is that we get the form, we get Ni, we're going to get Ni Vedi. Ni, for Ni is Upasarga, we'll leave it out for now. We get the Dhatu Vedi, because of the adding the Nich by Satya, Hetumaticha Nich, causative Nich. And also using the Puganta Laghu Pasasya Nivedi. Now when you take Vedi and add the Lat, that begins Shatru, let us Shatru Shana Chavadamas Modikarane, skipping some steps now, we'll get Vedi, plus in the meanwhile also will come in here Shap, Kartari, Shap will come. Of course, first you have to get the Shatru, then only Shap can come, but we are out of time, so I'm trying to put the steps in here. So we get Shatru, okay, Shap, Shatru. Now what will happen is that, so this was all done by 3 to 123, 124. And then after that, Kartari Shap came in here. And then Anubandha Lopaha, Shap will Guna for the Vedi, become Vede, Echo Yava Yavaha. When we do all of that, we get Ve, the Ya, and then the Shatru is here now. This is what happens now. So this we did the Guna Adeshaha by Sarvadhatukarddhaka Yoho, Echo Yava Yavaha Avadeshaha. Now we can use the Shapshano Nityam. Now before that, we have to then, even before that, we have to then make it the Ve, because it requires the so Ve, the Ya, At, Tasmi Pratyaya Nip, Runnebhyo Nip, because this Runnebhyo, Ugitascha, I'm sorry, Ugitascha, no, Ugitascha, because Shatru is in Ugit. So we get Runnebhyo Nip, because Runnebhyo Nip, sorry, Ugitascha, Ugitascha. That one is the 416, I think, Ugitascha. So we can Pratyaya in Ugit, and that Pradipadikam ending in Ugit Pratyaya means Shatru had Ru as an It, so Ayun Ru, so Ru as an It, then takes the Ni Pratyaya to make in the Striyam. So Ugitascha. So we got Ni. Now we can use Shapshano Nityam. So we got the Ugitascha, and then use 7181. Ni Ve, of course, between this one you get the Atogune, but this is going to take the Numagamaha to become Ni Vedayanti. Ni Vedayanti is going to come everywhere. Ni Vedayanti means informing. Sundar Kandam. Okay. Informing. Now, then there is one more. There is still now Nivedayanti is the present participle, informing Hanuman of the words of Brahma. Which are the following words? Now Purah Pravesham. Puraha is what here vibhakti here?
Puraha.
What could it be?
Looks like Prathama.
No, because maybe it's Puram will be neutral, like Pura, so Kanchi Puram, etc. There's also Padipadikam called Pur. There's one which is Pur and one which is Pura. Pura goes like one. So, but this is the feeling of Pradipadikam Pur, Rephanta. So Puraha is Shashti, Puraha Pravesham. So which is the entrance of the city. Anvajanat is she allowed him. So yeah, I think Puraha is, they also avyam called Puras, means in front. Probably not. That's not the meaning here. Because she's allowing him the entrance into the city. So Purah Pravesham, Puraha is Shashti Ekvachanam, I think, of the Padvidikam Pur, Rephanta Padvidikam, Sealingam Padvidikam, Rephanta Padvidikam, Sealingam. which means it is same meaning as pura. So puraha is shashti ekvachanam, praveshaha same dhatu, vish pratyaya, ghai means entrance, pravesham, so pura is shashti. The sambandha with pravesham is dvitiya like ramam, is the karma of anvajanat. Anvajanat is anu ajanat. Remember the ad agamaha will come before the angam of before the dhatu, not before the upasarga. So always be careful of that. Always pick out like in Gita, right? Ashocha anvashochastam, anvashochaha. So always pick out that ad agamaha, which is between the upasargaha and the tingantampanam. So anu ajanat. Okay, an ajanat, again, sorry, out of time. But dhatu is nya. How it becomes ja, Ravi?
Nya janorja.
Very good. What's the condition there?
I think
we had the same thing today, right?
Yeah, shiti pare.
Shiti. So it is, so nya janorja. I think 7379, is it? Yes, because today we saw sutram pagra, dma, sthabna. Nya janorja. Correct. I think it's just shiti pare, I think. Let me just double check that. 7379. Yeah, I think shiti, anurti of shiti definitely is coming down. Yeah, shiti parataha. So become nya and jan, sarvadesha become janati or jayate. Gita, the jayate mriyate va kadachin. So janati comes in both places. So if you know Gita, you know sutam nya janorja. So 7379. Of course, then this one is in the kriyadi ganaha. Krinati, kriyadi janati. So instead of getting kartari shap, you're going to get the kriyadi bhyashna. So 3-1, because we're out of time now, let's put the numbers here. So okay, we get, first of all, we get patya anajatane lang. Then we're going to get itascha. In the meanwhile, karti shap. So shap praptaha, tasya apavadaha. Apavada is going to kriyadi bhyashna, which is number kriyadi bhyashna 81, 3181. So 3181. And so once that happens, then we can get the nya janorja. So 7379. Yes, anvajan. Of course, addagamaha by lung rang chudataha. So 6471. So anujanat means anunya is permission. She permitted entrance of the city. Okay, let's do this one. So getting unnerved. What is that, Ravi?
Getting unnerved.
Vivvala. I think Vivvala. Even though is
Api.
Gently.
Mandam.
Smitten.
Tadita.
With his left fist.
Vamamushtina.
By Hanuman. I think Hanumata is here. I think Atho is kind of understood, this understood Atho, Anantaram. Thinking she is a woman.
Nari iti.
Yeah, this iti is, the quotation is the word iti, manyamanena, so by Hanumata, one who was thinking that she is a woman. Nari iti. She is that, she means this understood from here. Vivvala is feminine, right? Lanka Vimanini Maharakshasi from the context. Permits is
Anvajanat.
The monkey, sorry for the, I think it's understood. This Vanaram Janat key. To enter is Pravesham. Entrance, yeah. Allowed entrance basically. Allowed permitted entrance. Puraha is not here. Okay, that should be, I think it's not. See, this is from two different books, okay. So this is not, Gita Press has taken the gist of it basically, but Purah Pravesha, I think entrance, permitted entrance for the city. Entrance into the city in English, Repeating is? Nivedayanti. The words is? Vachaha. Of Brahma is? Brahmanaha.
that is
that iti.
Iti. That's the one iti inside here. The destruction is
Lanka Vinasha.
Of Lanka Vinasha Samayaha. The Samaya is understood. Time of destruction of Lanka should be imminent. Samprampraptaha. When is Sati Saptami? She is this Twayi.
Parajitaya.
Overpowered is Parajitaya. By a monkey is Kapina. Again, I'm sorry, we are over time again. I'm trying to go as fast, but we have to give some grammar points. Because if we can just go translation, you don't need the class then, right? So if you can hopefully give enough pointers to use on your own when you do verses on your own. Next time we'll do this verses number 38 and 41 and the 47. We'll read them today and we'll stop in 2 minutes now. Tatah krutva mahanadam savai lanka tadito bhayankaram talena vanara shreshtam tadayamasa vegita. So this is the Tatah krutva mahanadam savai lanka. Is this a typo? Give me. This is not a typo here. Give me 1 second because tadita bhayankaram talena tadayamasa vegita. I think that who's Tadita qualified? Is there a typo here, Ravi?
Yeah, it should be Sa Tadita.
I think Tadita seems to make sense. 1 second, let me just double check. Because Tadito will qualify Hanuman. Vanara Sheshtam is going in Dvitiya down below there. So I think this is Tata Krutta Mahan Savai Lanka Bhayankaram. Savai, I think Tadita is not there. That's a typo. Okay, I'll correct that. Give me 1 second. I know. Time is up. I know.
Or I'll fix it later, Satish.
No, it's okay. I'll do it right now. I don't want to leave this in the class thing in recording, So I will do it right now. So here, take you behind the scenes over here is this one. Okay. Pradoshakale. This one is not Tadita. Savai Lanka Vayankaram. Okay, I didn't check that. Okay. So it is that Tadita was not there. So that was okay. Tatah Kruta Mahardam Savai Lanka Vayankaram Talena Vanara Shreshtam Tadayamasa Vegita. So homework next time, Tadayamasa Anupraga Lit. You can do some homework over there. Look at Sutram 3135 on down. You can find something there to Anupraga Lit. We can do. We've done this in the class before. You can look at this Pratyam Pratyam is come Am. And then we get Anupraga Liti. We get this one over here, etc. I can try to do for homework. And then anything else here, Krutva Kosi Pratyak Twa, Samana Kriti Lanka, Mahanadam Krutva, Bhayankaram, and Talena Mana Sheshtam, Tadayamasa Vegita. So, by the way, we found Vegita for you, Ravi. Find Sutram for me next time, okay? Sadita.
Okay.
On the Pratya Itach. We've seen before Pratya Itach. That's homework for Ravi. Okay, so basically we say that having let out a loud sound, which is terrible sound, Lanka, she struck with her palm Hanuman. This was the Sankshipta Varnam. We're taking some sample verses from the Adhyaya. So anyway, verse 38, 41 is third Adhyaya of Sundarakandam, and 47 next time. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Vijay Ramena Vyata Nishachara Chamo Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramaschada Sosmyaham Rame Chittare Sada Bhautame Bhaurama Mamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattvalyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Ondameti. You okay with recording?